Well, happy Tuesday. I am Lorraine Brock, professional organizer and owner of Get Organized, and today is Tip Tuesday, where I bring you tips all about practical, somewhat funny sometimes, organizational tips about everything in your life, whether it's your home, your business, or your life. We give tons and tons of tips on Tip Tuesday. Well, this Tuesday, we're going to be talking about a plan for selling your home. Like, what kind of things do you need to take in consideration and get organized before you actually put it on the market? And I'll be honest with you, you need to have an awesome realtor. And today I have Mary Pat with me from Keller Williams. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Mary Pat has been in the industry for 15 years. And what's awesome is she has been that entire time with Keller Williams. And not only that, you have been, I think, 14 years in a row, you have been voted the #1 realtor in the Murphy, Texas area. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome.
So proud of that.
That is something. I mean, that's every year but one. And that year, you were probably just getting started. You were getting started.
Yeah.
So you service the Collin County areas,
Yes.
Dallas areas,
Yes.
and some of the cities around those. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sort of tell us, what made you get into real estate? What did you like about it? And what sort of happened over this time that now you're 15 years into it?
Right. Well, I didn't work when our kids were little, but we moved a lot. And during that time, we bought and sold 9 different houses. And about halfway through, I thought, this is a pretty neat profession. I like showing it. I like looking at houses. And I thought, there's a lot more to it than that, but I can learn. So when we moved here to the Murphy area in Collin County, I decided that I might look into it more because this was going to be where we wanted to retire in the future. So I worked for a year for one of the top agents in my office at Keller Williams on Dallas Preston Road. And since then I've moved to the Keller Williams office, Central 75. But 15 years I've been in it, and I just decided this is what I wanted to do. And I went and took my classes, and within 2 months, with intense study, I must say, I took my test and I had my license. So I was really proud of myself for that, and I really jumped in with a lot of energy and a lot of drive because I really wanted to.
There's a passion. There's a passion.
And a passion.
And I think if I'm correct, my business, Get Organized, is a little over 12 years old. So shortly after I started, you had already been in the industry of, of being a realtor and helping clients with their homes, selling and buying. And then we sort of became friends, and I think we've just sort of carried on at least our yearly, if not a couple times a year, we have lunch.
Yeah. We actually met at the Murphy Chamber of Commerce, and you introduced yourself, and we talked afterwards because you had a passion too.
Yes.
And our friendship, we do meet at least once a year.
Yeah, and then we talk all the time in between. We're just a stone's throw away from each other.
Yeah.
So, I personally have not moved in like 20 years. We've been in our home 20 years. There's been a few times during that time that we thought we might consider doing something, but our heart was to stay where we were. And, during that time, it's changed. The markets have come and gone. They're different. But, it still applies to getting your home ready on the market. And one of the things that I guess I pride ourselves in Get Organized is, we do turnkey moves other than being the actual moving company where we're moving the boxes. We're going in and we're helping these clients pack, unpack, and get their home ready many times to be on the market. And if someone doesn't have a realtor, I'm telling you guys, Mary Pat is the lady you want to go to. She's very trustworthy, character outstanding. I mean, she's she's organized. And anyone that's organized to me is like, you got my business. You got my business. So, so tell me a little bit about one of the most unusual things that you've had. You go into these homes, they're putting them on the market, and you're really, I guess, going in, and I'm gonna let you talk to this, but going in and looking at what they need to do before they put it on the market. talk to me, and we're not getting to the tips yet, but talk to me about what has been one of the most unusual things that you have actually asked the homeowner to do, or maybe given them some homework to get their home on the market. They may think it's beautiful and ready to go, but there are some things that you notice that they may not.
Right. And I would say, don't try to do this on your own. Get with, if you have a friend that's a realtor, I'm happy to help also. A lot of good agents all over this area, but don't try to make big decisions on your own. Get an agent to come in and take a walk around, because there's a chance that you may think something really needs to be addressed, and the agent may say, you know what, that's minor compared to this over here. And so I would say in fact, there's some clients I have that will be selling their house pretty soon, and I probably walked their house 1.5 years ago, and I gave them some ideas of what to do, where to maybe put their money that would show off the most. And this is going to help you when, I would say give yourself at least a month to have that walkthrough with a real estate professional. And if they will, you can always get a stager. I know Lorraine is a stager, and you have staging folks. Call Lorraine and see if they might want to walk through with that realtor, because it really will pay off if you put money where it won't give you the best benefit. And that's my advice on that. As far as the most unusual,
I had to ask this. I threw it in there sort of last minute, but.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that my most unusual listing was when I went to list a home from a client, and it was beautifully decorated, and I walked in one of the secondary bedrooms, and in a big glass aquarium, there was a big snake. And I'm a little bit scared of snakes, but I said, oh, well, you know what are we going to do with the snake? And she said, well, it won't get out, but it might be that I could cover it because I can't really move the aquarium very well.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
And the snake can't be in the garage because it's too hot. They need, perfect temperature. And so I said, well, I think that's a really good idea. And I got out of that room pretty quick, because but she came up with a solution, because she realized that a lot of children especially might walk in there. So actually we never had any problem during that. We sold the house quickly, and I was really happy that there wasn't any issue about that.
Yeah, can you imagine someone coming in and that are deathly afraid of snakes, and they're potentially the buyers, they may decide right away by walking in that room that, no, I'm not going any further in this house. I don't feel comfortable. So, and they didn't think about that, right? That to them, they were very comfortable with it. So I would even say, if you have pet rats, and not necessarily hamsters, but anything that would be out of the norm, reptiles, that might be something that the realtor would probably say, let's cover that up, and maybe even put a sign on it like "Do not disturb," because if you have kids with you when you're touring a home too, they're up against the glass and seeing, so it keeps that distraction away. But I knew that there's probably some things
that sticks in my mind, and that was probably 8 years ago, and I still remember.
Yeah. Now this is sort of off note, but when you are with a client and you're giving them the hard truth of what they need to do, I mean, they're in love with their home. That has been their home probably for many years, and they want to get the most dollar out of it. So do you find that sometimes you have clients that don't want to, or that you have to sort of give advice to, that sometimes I don't want to say stings, but you're telling them some things about the home that they've built their family in, or raised their family in, that these are the things. Or are they sort of like, tell me what I need to do to get the most money? Which one's more important?
Well, I can answer that. I usually go into my listing appointments with a range. I'll do a very complete market analysis of the city they're in, and then we narrow it down to the neighborhood. And if I feel like there's a big range there, then I will look at each home, and the ones that do not sell for as much as square footage, and I do go by a lot of the square footage in the neighborhoods, and of course the updates and all of that. But I will go in with maybe a range, and I'll let them decide, and I will show them the homes that have sold, the homes that are on the market now, and show them and let them read what these homes have. Because if your home doesn't have new stainless steel appliances and your home was built like 18 years ago, 2001, 2000 to 2005, most of those homes have the white appliances. A lot of them do. And so if you want top dollar, and if you read the descriptions of the homes when they've sold, it'll usually say if they have new HVAC, if they have a new roof, if they have a new hot water heater. And as an agent, I always put that in the description, because it's, to me, buyers are looking for, if they're looking for a 20-year-old home, they don't want to have to come in and replace the HVAC. They're looking for a home that maybe that was replaced 3 to 4 years ago. And same way with a hot water heater. It's probably the roof has been changed out because of hail damage and things.
Especially in this area.
Right. And so I let the sellers see, and we make that decision together.
Excellent, excellent. Because I know there's a lot to do. In fact, speaking of AC, we just had to replace one of ours, and I know it's costly. I know it, but it's definitely a value added to the home. It is a value added, great, especially in Texas, who can do without AC. So give us a little now. Before we get to our tips, and we're about there, I wanted to talk about sort of what the current market is. Speak to us about that. Concerning Collin County, a little bit of Dallas. Tell us sort of what the market is when someone's looking to buy or sell.
Okay. Well, and on the news, that there are a lot of people moving into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Collin County is just booming, and you can see the construction and everything everywhere. And so I work mostly in North Dallas, in Collin County. I go some over to East Fort Worth. But the market is a little different now than it was a year ago. A year ago, the prices were still pretty high. There was less inventory, and people were pretty much getting what they asked for the homes. But now I'm seeing the home sales kind of level out. Like, for example, in Collin County, there's not a lot of homes that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath under about 175. And if you find that, you may have to do some repairs. So the 175 to 250 range, there's about 235 actives right now in Collin County. The average price of those homes are $228,000 with around 1,750 square feet. That's the last 3 months there. And then in the last 3 months, the solds, the average is about 229. But keep in mind, it all depends on what they've done inside. And then in the Plano area, right now there's about 360 homes that are active on the market. About $141 a square foot. The average is about $339,000. The solds in the last 5 months, and I like the statistics, it's around 500. That tells me there's 361 on the market. 500 have sold, so we're still kind of low on inventory. They're going for around, that range is going for around $135 a square foot, and the average is around $332,000. Yeah, in the Plano area. Now, as far as Dallas is concerned, I did a market analysis, and I have the access to the Netris system, and it brings in homes that are from Denison to Granbury, to East Collin County. So I have a very wide range, and then I have friends in the Houston area, San Antonio, West Texas, that I can probably do some research through them if you're thinking of traveling and moving to those areas. But I pulled up some stats on Dallas, North Dallas, and between 300,000 to around 500,000, and with 4 bedrooms. And there's active right now on the market about 200 homes. They're running average about 165 a square foot, and the average is about 413,000.
So definitely higher a square foot in that
Right,
area.
they are. And this is north and south of 635. It's the North Dallas address. And those that have sold in the last 3 months have sold for, in that 4 bedroom, in that price range, 300 to 500, are going for about 156 a square foot, and average is about that, about the 413.
It's still, I mean, compared to other markets in the United States,
Yeah.
my word, it's still a great deal here. It's just
Oh,
still
yes.
a great deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some people that I had met this past weekend at a conference, and some of them flew in, like, say, for California, and I mean, everything is so high there. I mean, their taxes, their housing, it's just a lot of cost to live there. And they're like, how much did you pay for a home here? Like, it's like pennies to them compared to.
Yes.
So it's really still a really good market, even though it has gone up in the last few years. But that's awesome.
I'm seeing some cash buyers in the over 400,000 too, which might surprise you, but I'm seeing that right now.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
There's some cash out there.
There's some cash people. They're wanting that home, and they want to get it. They've probably sold something else and got that cash out. All right, so let's get to our tips today about if you're planning to put your home on the market. What are our 5 tips? Now, Mary Pat's going to give 4 of her own, and I'm going to end up with number 5, giving a tip for myself for you guys. So tip number 1, Mary Pat, what would that be?
Okay, tip number 1. First impressions make a huge difference. So I like to start with talking about the curb appeal, the front, the plants, what if they're overgrown. I like to say, power wash your front porch, your brick. If you have that, or there's plenty of people that will come and do that for you, get your windows. There's a lot of 2-story homes around here. But there are a lot of companies that will go up there on a ladder and clean your windows for you on the outside. That makes a huge difference in the sparkle of your home. Give some color to the front porch. Right before you go on the market, get some fresh flowers. White and yellow flowers show really good from the street.
Who knew?
Right, they do. Red flowers, I love them, but they don't show up well. But except geraniums, red geraniums, I love.
Yeah, they just pop. Yeah.
But if you're going to put flowers in the flower beds, I would say to put a lighter color on the front porch. That's really, really important. We all approach, the realtors getting the key out of the key box, and the buyers are behind, and they're looking around. They're looking at the ceiling to see if there's any of those.
They're already judging.
They're already judging.
They're already judging when they're on the front porch.
And that's where the power wash will come in. Get up there and really power wash it. People like a red door. I found that too. If it matched with your house, if you like red,
it's a power color.
It is a power color. There's some beautiful doors out there now too. They range from $800 to $1,600 with the wrought iron on them, but they are beautiful doors. And if your home is a little older home, if you would consider that, it might be well worth the money, because they are beautiful with glass behind them. Flowers in the front entry pots look nice. Let the Garden City folks, they can help you with, what's good for full sun and all. And it's well worth, even if you spend $100 or $200. That may seem like a lot for flowers, but it would look really pretty in your yard.
Yeah. And a couple things that you mentioned there. So if you're redoing your landscape, or updating it a little bit, check with your city. Like, I know that the city that I live in, they have mulch for free.
Oh, wow.
All you have to go do is go to their center, and what they do is when they have tree limbs and stuff, they shred it. And they make mulch, and they basically put it like in a little cement encasing, and you can just drive up, take your trash bags, your shovels, and you can get it for free. Wow. And also, you mentioned like power washing and window cleaning. Check Groupon. We recently did all of our windows in our house on the outside And we got that at a fraction of the price by just doing a Groupon offer. So there's just some ways to really cut costs to be able to get that curb appeal that you want, and still be organized, right? Organized, saving money.
and I want to have you just go out to your sidewalk and look at your front of your home. You can do it before you put out the flowers, but if you have a big tree over here and you've always thought a bench would be pretty under there, chances are a buyer's going to think that too. There's some gliders you can get, to sit out, and people like to picture themselves coming up to your house, their house. And so a bench there, maybe some flowers around a bench to make a little cozy area, a swing hanging from a big tree for grandkids maybe.
It says family, right? It says home.
Yeah. And if you have an oversized porch, make sure the cushions are pristine, maybe colorful pillows out there. And the last tip I have is buy a new welcome mat. It can say, I'd like for it to say welcome, be colorful, fit in with the rest of the decor.
Yeah, nothing like profanity or like that. Don't do.
And one more thing.
Not inviting.
No. Also, don't forget the backyard. Back porches, you can put hanging baskets.
Yeah, I love our back porch. I love going out there. We're fixing to put a hammock out there because it's just a great place to go out there in a lot of shade. So, awesome tip number one. Okay, tip number two, Mary Pat, take it away.
All right, I've got a new tip. And I think most of you know this, but decluttering is the key. That's tip number two, but I have a lot of subtitles under that.
Go right ahead.
Lorraine, of course, is the queen of decluttering, and it makes a huge difference. And if you want to tackle it your own self, that's great, but it's gonna be a lot of work. I just went through this with a couple that I listed their home, and their home was in pristine condition. And you wouldn't have thought to declutter would make a difference, but we went through and it did. They were willing to do the work themselves, and so they did it, and they couldn't believe it. It just makes the rooms look bigger, and it makes less dusting and all that.
Yeah, I do know.
Some tips on that?
Well, on the decluttering thing, I always tell our clients when clients go into your home and they're looking at one of the things that women want, especially, I'm not saying men don't want this, but especially women, they love their kitchen, laundry rooms, but closets, storage spaces. And what happens is, what we see is people open up these closets, and it's like the I Love Lucy closet. Everything is just stuff. We call it a shove fest. You just shove it where it fits, and over time things get really cluttered. And so what happens is they open it up and they say, man, this person's struggling with space. And they have a family, and it's probably not going to be, it's not much space. But when they see it organized and decluttered, and they open it up and they don't see that you're straining to get another inch in there, then their first thought is, man, there's plenty of storage space here. And it makes it more appealing for them to buy the home. So decluttering is really important.
And along that line, the pantry is important, very important to clean your pantry. Take things out of it that don't really belong in a pantry too, because we're all pushing, things.
No old printers or electronics in there. Yeah,
absolutely. And another thing that people may not think about, but this is a good tip, is clean your refrigerator, because I bet 75% of my buyers will open your refrigerator.
Oh, even inside too. I was thinking on the outside, all the kids' smudges and stuff. But
the outside is a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
But the inside, it makes a huge difference. And if you look in that, and it's just like looking in a closet. You look in the refrigerator, it's wiped down, it's clean and neat. Guess what? These people love their house.
They take good care of it.
Take good care of their house.
Yeah, if they see the clean on the outside, and they open, and sometimes the refrigerator comes with the house sometimes.
Yes, it does.
And so you open it up and you see mold and mildew and food spilt over. You're like, these people aren't really taking care of their stuff, and that's probably going to speak volumes about the other parts of the home.
Yeah, and we're in the kitchen, and that's another point I have. The rooms that have the most impact on a buyer: the kitchen, the master bedroom and the bath, the media room if you have a beautiful media room, put on a Toy Story.
Yeah, a movie
a movie, and have the sound kind of down, but have it so they can walk in and see themselves sitting down for that.
That is a great idea. Maybe a fresh bowl of popcorn that's really stale. They don't have to eat it. Just right there in the middle of the coffee table.
Yeah, but those are the rooms. The secondary rooms are important, but and the living room, the family room, usually connected to the kitchen. That's an important room too. Kitchens can sell a house. They really can.
Wow.
And the master bedroom and the bath.
Love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, tip number 3, Mary Pat, take it away.
Okay, can I give one more
tip?
No,
go ahead. Okay. We're going to go back to number 2. Let's go back to number 2. Go ahead.
Let me give you one more tip. Don't forget the garage. I know that garages can look cluttered, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I really don't mind you going through and putting the clutter in a tub and moving the tub out to the garage. I don't mind the garage having packing in it or packing boxes, but what I do want to caution you is make a trail when you go out of it. Let people, if it's a family of 5 and the kids are there, they're all going to want to go out and see it. So make it there where you come from the house into the garage, make that a space, and also make a trail out to the back, because they're going to want to put the garage door up and walk out to the back and see if there's an alley or see where that back part goes.
Versus saying we can't get through here. Yeah.
Right.
So awesome.
That's the decluttering, and also personal pictures and all a big part of that.
Take it all down. Take it all down. Yeah. Okay. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3. Maintenance is very important. Here are some basic maintenance ideas that you can do yourself, or there's a lot of handyman out there that can do it. Some negative vibes to buyers are caused by these: loose doorknobs and faucets. That's negative to go into.
It wiggles.
It wiggles. Doors that stick, and burned out light bulbs. They're easy fixes, and just, you might not think about that, but that's why I'm here, to give you some really good ideas on what to think about. Also, so that's a biggie to me. Yeah. The negatives, you don't want negatives when they come in. Recaulking the grout around the toilets, the tubs, the sinks. You can do that yourself, but make sure it looks neat.
We don't want big old an inch thick on there.
And also an inspector will come in if there's caulking that's cracked around the outside, it's weathered, and you haven't had it updated for a while. You might consider that. Now, 2-story houses are really hard to caulk on the upstairs bedrooms. You have to hire that out probably. But if you can do it yourself and you can make it look really professional, then that might be something that you would want. And another thing that some people overlook, and it's very important, is to, while you're getting your house ready to put on the market, change those HVAC filters. Change them
you should
out.
be doing that anyway, like once a month. And I always tell our clients, if they're helping with them with time management, is things just like putting a reoccurring appointment on. Even if you use a paper calendar, just put it on there at the end or beginning of every month and say change filters, because don't rely on this, because it'll fail you every time.
Right.
But you want to start off with clean filters, so if they are checking,
they'll be checking.
They'll be checking. They go, these people, they got it. They got it.
Well, another thing on maintenance is a lot of your chimneys are made with wood, and those chimneys are weathered. They get a lot of weather and wind. So look up at your chimney, especially if it's not brick, the wood, and see if that's kind of rotted wood and it needs to be repainted. You might want to get that done, because an inspector will probably call that out anyway. And also around any wood trim around the outside windows. If you see any wood rot, that's a biggie. And so just get somebody to help you do that, sand it down, and repaint. Trim the trees on the outside, that's a big maintenance thing. If they touch the house, an inspector will call that out to say it's condition that could lead to ants getting in the house or termite. So
yeah, because they go right over onto it.
Trim your trees back. Don't let tree limbs touch your the top of your house at all. And you know, just make sure you go around and trim your shrubs back. So no touching the house.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So
all right, so your last and final tip, number 4.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay. Now we've talked about preparing, talking to someone, get the ideas. We've talked about what you can do to declutter. We've talked about some maintenance issues, which are very important. But now we're going to talk about when you get close to listing day and the showings are going to come.
Because this is where people are going to start looking now.
That's right. You've done all this work. You're just exhausted, but you know your realtor keeps saying, "Atta girl, atta boy, keep going." And so here's some tips that I have picked up through the years. Make sure you have your bedspreads that are all ready to go and they look nice. You might want to invest in some new ones. It will look good in that new house you're buying when you're leaving this house.
That's right.
Yeah. So make sure you have some pretty bed spreads and pillow covers and things like that. Put out new clean towels in your bathrooms.
Hand towels, body towels.
Hand towels. This can be white. It can be a color that you like to accent, but I kind of like the white, pristine look. And clear your countertops. If you know you put your makeup on in the morning, but just have a little caddy that you can put that in and push it under your sink. Clear the kitchen cabinets. That's part of decluttering.
Yeah.
But just make sure they're wiped down good. Don't forget to water those plants you planted in the front yard, on the porch.
Don't plant them and then let them die, because then it defeats all the purpose of the hard work, right?
Yeah, right. And then I like this, and I think it really helps people. When you get the house ready to show and you've done everything, you worked so hard, go around and take pictures yourself. It's so easy now to take pictures with your phone. And just take up of your closets, and if you think, "Ooh, I don't want to take that closet," maybe you should clean it out. So you could take a picture of it. So
you don't want to take a picture of your closet. It's probably not the shape you want it in.
Right. So just go around and take pictures. Scroll through your phone and say, "Ooh, you know, that purple vase really jumps out at me. I think we'll put that under the counter instead of leaving it out." Things like that. And you could even post your final pictures, a few of them maybe, on your Facebook or your Instagram.
Some self-marketing.
Yeah, do a little say, "Hey, we've been working really hard with our really nice realtor.
Very
and we're getting our home ready to put on the market. So, you know, she's going to have an open house here soon after it goes on the market. So, and then you can post some progress on the way and get your friends, because when I have an open house, I really like to encourage the neighbors to come in, because if they probably live in there, they really love the neighborhood. So I really talk to them about, "Hey, do you have a friend that would like to maybe see the home, because they're close to you?" So really welcome your neighbors to come in, and I guarantee that all of your hard work will pay off in the end. And you'll put your home in the very best light that you can.
Yes.
You might not can do all of these. You may not can do all the maintenance things, but do the best you can. And I'll guarantee that your best preparations, it'll make you feel great when it goes on the market. And I think you'll really get the price point that you're looking for. I hope so.
Yeah. And I want to add a couple things to that. So, you know, you had mentioned earlier, get a friend to come over and sort of look at your home and sort of tell you what needs to be fixed. Same thing on when you're done with it, or at least when you think you're done with it, right? Have someone come in and give them the permission to tell you all the negative things that they still think you need to work on. I mean, because sometimes it's hard for people. I am not one of those people. I can say something immediately and feel fine. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but some people have a difficult time pointing out negativities about people's property or something. So if you really want the honest truth, give them permission to say, tell me what's wrong, what you don't like. And some of those things may be a preference, but other things may be really things that you need to fix. And one other thing, we had an organizer just recently that lives in Anna, and she's one of our awesome organizers at Get Organized, and they have been living in this home probably for about, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. And they have slowly been, you know, changing it and making it more home. Well, they decided to live on the market. And just so you know, she's extremely organized, has definitely an eye for decor, did her own home, staged it, decluttered it. She put it on the market, and within 72 hours, and the reviews of what her house looked like was, I mean, that was really the selling point. It was absolutely so just well cared for and decluttered and organized, and people like, this is an organizer's home, and they just knew it. It just spoke volumes. So, and by that she got more money for it too than she wanted. So right. It really does pay off. So thank you, Mary Pat. Yeah. All right, last and final tip number 5 is my tip. And what I wanted to sort of go over, and I am not a realtor. You know, when we go in, we're working with them on getting their home on the market in the best condition it can, as far as looks and staging of it. But years ago, when I was selling our home in Waco, Texas, this is probably what, 25 years ago, the realtor told me, they said, you want to have the potential buyer mentally move in your home when they're coming. They need to envision their life unfolding and taking place. And so you want to make it as inviting to someone as possible. Things to stay away from, they had, and maybe you would agree with this, I don't know, tell me, you know, with particular scents in the home. Someone may hate vanilla, so don't put vanilla in your home. What they recommended is turning on the oven and on a low temperature and taking a little capful of vanilla extract and throwing it in your oven, and it smells like homemade cookies, like really homey. Open the blinds in your home, because people don't like to walk into dark, gloomy homes. They want bright. So open your blinds, let the lights in. And in Texas, everyone knows the AC is extremely critical. We talked about that a little earlier. Especially in the summertime, make your house cool. Make it at a really good temperature. Like I'm not sure exactly, but I'd say around 70 degrees would probably be somewhere close, because you know, it's not too cold, but it's also not too warm. And just make sure, you know, turn the lights on in the house if you need to, and the blinds. So those are just some things that you can do just from when we were selling our home that I have learned and we sort of passed down to our clients.
Another really good scent, I think, is a citrus scent. It's clean, it's fresh, and a plug-in citrus. You might try some out, see, but just because you like lavender doesn't mean everybody does.
Yeah.
And I love it, but the scents that I have found most people like
are more appealing to the masses.
Yes, right, are the citrusy. So that might be a tip.
Yeah, and my sister-in-law, she does not like rose, the smell. Rose, you know, so don't. It's too heavy. So you don't want to go in there and be, you know, make people not even interested, or they could be allergic. You know.
Yeah.
So just, you know, keep that in mind. What you think smells good may not be somebody else's. But I think everyone loves homemade cookies. I mean, they may not be able to eat them, but they love them. So, all right. So let's go on. I want to mention last week, we gave away, or we actually put into motion giving away 4 table tents that you can use during a picnic. And I don't have one with me today, but basically they're like little bitty tents that are like netted. That's right. You raise them up.
Umbrella.
Like an umbrella, yeah. And you put them over large bowls or platters when you're having picnics, because last week we talked about, you know, an organized picnic. So the person that won that was Jennifer Ashford, and she's from Edmond, Oklahoma. So congratulations, Jennifer.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yeah, and you will love those. And I love them all the time. And the great thing is they collapse right down, and you're great for storage when you're not having a picnic or an outdoor activity. So we will get those in the mail to you this next week, and congratulations. So our giveaway today, we always do a giveaway. We always do something. And I wanted to show this. This is actually a travel scale. I'm going to get up here and sort of let you guys see it here. I don't actually have one, but it is a travel scale. So when you go to the airport, and you have luggage that you're not quite sure if it's going to meet that weight limit, guilty like all the time. Like I pack, like, Mrs. Brock, you're going to have to pay extra or take something out of the thing. So here I'm unzipping my suitcase, all my underwear's coming out, and, you know, all my stuff. And I'm like, oh, and I'm supposed to be misorganized here. And so I don't look organized all the time at the airports because I tend to pack a lot, like a shoe for every outfit. But anyway, the travel scale, you just basically hang the luggage on this, wrap around the luggage handle, and you hold it up, and it tells you a digital weight on here so you don't get surprised. I've tried to use my weigh scale, you know, you weigh your whole person on, and trying to put a big suitcase on that, you're guesstimating at best. So anyway, we're giving away for this next week. So here's how you win this. Mary Pat gave away 4 great tips for getting your home on the market, and I gave away 1. So I need you guys during this next week to leave comments down below of which tip you liked. It was the most creative tip that you never thought about. Even if you're not selling your home on the market, maybe one day you will be. And these tips can be used at any time. These are tried and true tips. I mean, these tips aren't going away. I mean, these are tips that homeowners got to consider and do. So leave a comment down below of which tip you like the most, and you'll be entered to win this, and we'll announce the winner next week. So maybe I'll win that. I can always use more. Okay, so the next thing is our Tip Tuesday tool of the week. So every week I select a tool that's normally a resource or an organizing product that I love. Either A, I've used, or B, we've used it in a client's home, or maybe even found it in the store or online and I was intrigued by it. So I have my Tip Tuesday tool here. And Mary Pat, if you'll reach in there, and let's take that out. Okay. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So this is a container that I don't actually know the name of. It's called Store and More Modular System. You can see Store and More. It's going to be backwards in the video, but it's Store and More Modular System. And it has a little handles here that you can actually snap. And I love that because it makes it really sturdy. You don't grab it and the lid just pop off by accident. This particular one is actually at Walmart in their craft department. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about when they go shopping for products to organize or to browse the aisles is they always look in the home organizational departments, like at Walmart, right? The shelf liner, the metal shelving, or the silverware stuff. Go to the craft departments, even like in Michael's, Hobby Lobbies, and you will be amazed at a lot of the containers and products that are out there that'll help you get organized that have nothing really to do with general home organization, but you can use them for that. So this particular product, when I say modular, you can purchase different things to go in here. Like, if you wanted to, so you see the orange one, but underneath that orange one, look at here. There's more products. There's more. So you can have layers if you want. You can get rid of all 4 of these. And you can actually put these all lined in the bottom, and then these right here lined on top. So let's say that you do some knitting or crafting and you need it to be a little bit more portable.
Nice and deep.
They're very deep. I use one similar to this. Container Store has a version of this too. And a little bit smaller of a container, but Container Store has a version of this, and we use it for my grandkids like craft supplies. We actually keep it up in a cupboard, and it's a little bit smaller than this, and probably a little bit more expensive. It's because it comes from the Container Store, but definitely great quality. And so this would be something that you could use in a craft room. You could store batteries or office supplies. Or
my grandson Collin he's really into Beyblades. I don't know if you
What is that?
It's a toy that you pull a string thing and it twists around like a top. And he has a lot of them, and they went and looked for something like this, and I wish that he had gotten this. This would be great for, it's called Beyblades. And he's 9 years old, and he has a lot of friends that are into that.
That's the thing right now.
So good for toys. How about Legos?
Legos, if you have a small amount of Legos you want to keep in the living area. I mean, normally kids have lots of Legos, but
Yeah.
we did keep a small bunch in the living room where they could be busy.
Stickers,
And we have stickers, little things you can glue on to things, like little, I don't know, they're like little cotton balls that you use, or little wiggly eyes that you use for crafts. But
I love that.
yeah, a little great thing. And I think this costs like $10 or $12 at Walmart. So not only check out Walmart, but also check out the Container Store as well. All right, so we talked about it. So next week on Tip Tuesday, we are going to start a 3-part series on paper clutter organization. We got a lot of feedback on a Tip Tuesday about a month ago, and we talked about paper clutter, and people had more and more questions, and I don't feel that we gave it as much attention as it needed. It was one of those call in or message us and we'll answer a question that you have. And a lot of the questions were on mail, how to keep track of the loose papers that come in, and how to deal with bills versus projects. So we're going to take the next 3 Tip Tuesdays and talk about systems for paper clutter. And make sure you bring your pen and paper, and you're going to be learning and gleaning a lot. This will apply for you if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you have a small business, if you work outside the home. I mean, it's going to be just a plethora of great ideas for how to manage paper. So next week will be our first of 3 segments on paper clutter. So also, one of the things I wanted to mention, I mentioned every week a little bit about a Go service that we offer. We have clients from time to time. In fact, we're working with one now that has family in other areas of Texas or the country, and we will travel. It's one of the things I didn't know. A lot of times you don't have organizers that will travel. We have a large team of organizers, probably about 25 to 30 people totally on staff. And if we can get those schedules coordinated, the organizers have driven, they have flown, and they will stay in hotels. Others will stay with a client depending on the situation. And it's a great way to get to people that live in more remote places that doesn't have access to organizers, or really just want some quality, city organizers. So just know that about us. If you have family that live elsewhere, we can absolutely take care of them. So as a reminder, don't forget to leave your tip down below of Mary Pat's and my tip of which tip you like the most. I won't get my feelings hurt if you like all of Mary Pat's more than mine. It's totally okay. But we're going to give away this scale where you weigh your luggage before you get to the airport, so you don't have to be embarrassed like I do. And leave a comment down below, and then we'll announce you if you won next week on Tip Tuesday. Well, Mary Pat, thank you so much for being here. And if you guys need a realtor and you're in the Collin County, Dallas County area, I mean, just give Mary Pat, Keller Williams. What's your website?
It's www.luxurytexaslifestyles.com, and I have a new website, www.chomesfree.com, and you can look for homes on that website too. So
awesome.
The websites are great: Luxury Texas Lifestyles and chomesfree.com.
Awesome. And I did mention she's organized. So like I said, that alone tells you need to call her if you're ready to put your house on the market, or if you just want to have her go through your home or sort of analysis. You'll meet with them at any stage to get them ready. So well, guys, thanks for joining us on Tip Tuesday, where I bring you organized, practical, and sometimes funny organized tips to help you get your home, business, and life organized. And we'll see you next week on Tip Tuesday. Have a great day.
Thanks, Lorraine. Bye.